Welcome back, y'all. I want to start out by saying I appreciate all the comments y'all left on the last video. That's literally the only thing that keeps me doing this stuff. You can look at the view count and the like count and see that I'm obviously not making money from it. So I really appreciate that. Please keep the comments coming. I'll sit there and talk to you all day long. So I don't exactly know how this video is going to, it may or may not be in chronological order. Well, after this clip, it definitely won't be, because I've recorded a couple clips, but it's been kind of rough. I made a post about it, but as you might know, I'm here in Greenville, South Carolina, and we got hit pretty bad by Hurricane Helene, and luckily it wasn't as bad as 45 minutes north in Asheville, but we did get hit pretty hard. A storm came through and like knocked like half the trees in the town down. Well, we survived the hurricane. My neighbors, not so much though. That's very, very unfortunate. That's sad. That tree took out 4 cars. For now, we're good. People are still without power right now. Luckily, I was fortunate that mine was only out for a few days. But it's a week later now, or a week and a day, and there's still people that don't have power. So there's been a lot of things going on, but in the midst of all this, I'm still trying to build a motor. So right now, I'm cleaning things. I'm just scrubbing things up. I spent about 4 hours on the heads yesterday. I still got to get some more brake clean and clean them up, but they look pretty decent for the most part. Cleaned as much residue and down in the intake ports and stuff. So I don't have all of my parts here. I only have a few, but basically I'm getting my friend Bob to help me out. I took my spare block over to his house and we're starting to build on it. As you can see, this is the block that came out of the Miata. And another thing that I didn't note in the last video is that all these piston rings spun. I haven't moved them, but like you can see like how close the top and bottom rings gaps are together. There's one of them in here where they're literally right on top of each other. So I'm thinking that's definitely why I had the excessive blow by, and it was just blowing the oil away from the pan. As you can see how low profile of a pan that is, you can literally look through my return drain from the turbo, and the windage tray is right in the middle of it. So I mean, it's like maybe an inch off the pan. So it just doesn't, it's not very easy for the oil to drain back. But nevertheless, this time around I went with ARP 2000 studs. I got a new clutch and flywheel. There's my cam, which looks good. I think I showed that before. But I'm just getting all these little parts cleaned up. I had the flywheel resurfaced today. I'll throw a clip of that in there right now. My buddy Greg Dodgens did that for me. Like brand new. That's awesome. Knocked it out real quick. My buddy Roman gave me a crank, and I went and got that balanced and polished. So he knocked it out in one day, got it back really quick for me. So we're going to start working on the block here soon. The parts that I don't have here, Bob donated a set of K1 rods, and then I ordered a set of Summit pistons, which are, from what I've researched, basically Wiseco pistons rebranded. And then I ordered bearings, and I got Total Seal gas ported rings, so hopefully that'll take care of a lot of the blow by as well. So it's kind of, he's been working on the block, and we're trying to get it honed and all that ourselves, just to save some money. But I'm just going to end up taking little clips of it, and I'm going to try and compile them together the best I can. But I'm going to keep working on this little by little. I'm going to try to get the motor knocked out. Let's see, today is Friday. I'm shooting for Tuesday. We'll see what happens though, but I would like to have motor in the car next week and at least make one pass before Greer is closed. We will see how that goes, but that's fingers crossed it doesn't rain when I get the motor back together and I can get it back in. So we shall see. All right. So Bob has been going to town. Dude, I just brought this over here and like he's just been going to town on it. So what we're trying to do right now, so I have these pistons. You can see one of them in here. So I've got those pistons. So Bob could explain it a lot better than I can, but we're getting the piston to wall clearance right now.
Yes.
And it needs to be like 3 or 4 thousandths over, something like that.
The paperwork you brought over said 50 to 80 thou,
Okay.
which is 2618 level
Yeah.
piston clearance. So,
And the paperwork, dude, it seems just like some generic paper that Summit threw in the box. So I'm kind of like skeptical of like how accurate it is, because there's not like, it's kind of vague. But it seems like we definitely need to take it out a little bit. So I think we're going to like 3.5 thou, something like that.
4 thou.
Yeah.
On the piston to wall.
Okay.
And then we'll gap rings.
I gotcha.
Appropriately for boost.
So we're just using this guy right here and honing it out, and it's working pretty well so far. Bob's got these cylinders cleaned up very nice.
We're looking at,
He's got the fancy gauge too.
3 thou
Hell
clearance
yeah.
right here on this piston to wall.
That's what's
Should
up.
be about, yeah, it's 3.5 on this side
Cool.
because of the skirt wear.
Hell yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, with the stone hone, you get rid of a lot of the vertical scratching.
Yeah.
In the bores.
Yeah, because there was some down in there. It wasn't. It passed the fingernail test, but yeah, it's definitely taking it out a good bit.
Yeah.
So I'm probably just gonna record little clips here and there, and because we're gonna try and knock this out, but that's what we're going for right now. All right, these are my pistons. They're just forged 4032 pistons, and then I got these. They're Summit brand, but they're actually Total Seal. I got the gas ported rings, so it's got those little notches in there, so it's supposed to work sort of like a gas ported piston and swell the ring up whenever combustion happens. So we'll see how that goes, and pretty straightforward. Bob's got a pretty cool ring grinder tool over here, so hopefully this goes nice and easy. Alright, so like I said, this video is all over the place. Got the crank balanced, which you probably saw that already. And I think we left off honing the block and whatnot, so that's good. Bob took care of that. Now I've got everything except for the block back at my house, and he's gonna bring it over here and I'm gonna finish it here. So I didn't record the ring grinding process because it took like a few days and it sucked, and it was very inconsistent. These are file fit. Long story short, I had to buy another $250 set of rings because I couldn't get singles because I messed a few of them up. But it was just, even being careful with them, it was just kind of inevitable for me at least. So I got them done. They're all gapped. I did 26 top, 27 bottom. I wanted to do 26, 28. The Summit piston paper called for 27, 27, so that's just what I ended up at. So I'm going to put the rods on. I got these K1 rods here that Bob was so nice enough to donate to me. And I'm just going to put the rods on the pistons. So I got to make sure that this chamfered edge is going to go towards like the weight. So like each chamfer has to go like that. So I just got to figure out which piston is going to be where and what needs to go what direction. So it should be pretty simple. I mean, I would imagine that they're all going to face out, whichever side that it's on. I just got to make sure what piston is what. So that's the next thing on the list. Dude, fuck these little C-clips. Oh my god. I've done 3 so far. Dude, oh my god, those are so, you can see the little scratches. I mean, I'm trying my best to, but dude, these are a pain in the ass to get in. Between these little guys and those picks, I'm getting it done, but dude, I'm going really slow, and they're just so much resistance on them. That is ridiculous, and there's no real great way to get these in. But, yeah, 3 down. Alright, little update where I'm at. Those are all together, and that was a pain in the ass. Here's what it is, though. I got them all together with just little minor scratches, and nothing's messed up. This, on the other hand, I'm not going to go into super detail about it, but I'll just say this, is that luckily I caught this and nothing bad happened. That's the important part. I don't think I have any of them left on here. I had put a couple on there, but basically, this crank was welded on, and I don't know if they used flux core or whatever, but it was MIG welded. But there was splatter, like little BBs and whatnot, and there was some down on some of the journals and on the weights. So I just spent like a good 2 hours going over everything, chipping them off with a flathead and a screwdriver, and sanding all the journals, and everything's smooth. I'm gonna clean it one good time, and it should be all right. So I caught it. It is what it is. If I didn't, it would have taken out some fresh bearings, and that would have been my brand new motor. But it's okay because it's all right. I caught it, and it's gonna be okay. I've got my block here, and I'm ready to set some bearings down in it and set the crank in. Don't have the best light, but you can see Bob did a really good job cleaning this block up for me. We got a nice finish. It's honed out, ball honed. The deck looks good. It's all nice and cleaned, and we're ready to go. So I'm gonna set some bearings in this thing and go ahead and put the crank in. All right. Well, the crank is in, and it feels really good. It spins nice and easy. Feels real good. So I had a bottle of Clevite assembly lube for when I built the last motor, and I never used it. And I had it put up on my shelf, and it's gone. So I concocted some stuff with some manual transmission fluid, some ATF, and some 2050. But it feels good. I forgot to smack the crank with my dead blow before I torqued it down, but I smacked it afterwards. I don't think it really matters. There's no drag or anything in it, and those thrust bearings are really tight in there, so I really don't think that's going to make too much of a difference anyway, but it feels good. And now it's time to throw some rods and pistons in. Okay, rotating assembly is in. And everything spins nice and smooth. Feels really good. Unfortunately, my really fancy snap-on torque wrench, the angle gauge isn't working right on it. I don't know why it's not working. I've never actually had to use it, and the one time I wanted to use it, it didn't work. But regardless, so I reached out and was recommended by a builder to torque them to 65 foot-pounds. Pretty much everybody on the internet is saying to go to 75 with the ARP lube that it comes with. So I just put a couple dots. I made a line with a Sharpie. I'm getting around 30, 35 degrees out of it. It's supposed to go to 60 degrees. So I kind of just met in the middle and went 70, and I mean, it should be fine. We'll find out, but I don't think that, 5 degrees or 5 foot-pounds isn't going to make too much of a difference. So I think we're good to go on that, and I'm going to go ahead and put the cam in and start buttoning it up. I think I forgot to keep recording, but I didn't do a whole lot. I took a break and did some things, but the cam's in, oil pump's on, oil pan's on, the balancer hub's on, timing covers, all that good stuff, and now it's time for lifters and the heads. And we pretty much got a motor now. So, quick updates, and see how it goes. Okay, lifters in, ARP 2000s this time. Studs are in, which, I wasn't going to roll the dice again. My China studs served me well while they did. And they actually, they're just a roll of the dice. It's like a box of chocolates. So you really don't know if they're going to work or not. So, they worked, but I'm taking the chance again. So we got ARP 2000s installed with the ARP lube right there. Or, excuse me, ARP thread sealer. And, alright. I'm going to let you guys... Well, actually, you know what? Guess what's next? Oh, yeah. Copper spray. I'll copper spray brand new head gaskets. I don't give a fuck. And throw all the boost at that shit and get it to stick. Oh, yeah. Copper spray. LS9 head gaskets, ARPs at 90 foot-pounds, and we're ready to party. So, I'm going to put this down so I can look at what I'm doing, because I'm doing a horrible fucking job of spraying this on here right now. I'm going to throw these heads on. And just like that, we got us a motor. We got us a Miata engine again. It's basically ready to go in. Oh, no it's not. I got to get the, got one more thing to do before I can put it in. I got to get the, pilot bearing adapter out of the old crank, which it's like in there. I couldn't get it out with bread. So I got to get one of those slide hammers and pull that out. And otherwise, things basically are ready to go in. I'm probably just going to leave this as the motor build video. And I'll start the next one of me putting this thing in there. And we'll split it up like that so you can see it drive. Because probably won't go into too much detail of putting it in. I've got a whole playlist like up here or something like that at the end of the video if you want to see how I put it together. But yeah, it's gonna be it's coming back. It's gonna be alive again here shortly before it gets cold. But as always, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you in the next one. Later, y'all.